Hello, this is the Watchdog, and welcome back to Fun with Watches. If watches weren't fun, you only need one. Today we're going to review the SKMEI 9232 homage to a Tag Heuer Octavia. Let's start out with the wrist check. I'm wearing my Bernie AM7068M, and Greg was wearing my Pagani Design PD1676. Grogu said the Jedi Academy was playing the princess's team in softball. Han Solo was pitching to Master Skywalker and it was full count. Luke said to Han, "If you strike me out, I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine." And here is the watch. The watch did not come in a box because this is a very affordable watch. I don't know if I'd call it ultra affordable. How about very affordable? This is the second SKMEI on this channel. The other SKMEI was a digital, and for the longest time I thought digital was all that SKMEI ever made. Then I saw this automatic on a bracelet, so I decided to give it a shot. This one resembles a Tag Heuer Octavia, which is kind of unusual for a brand like SKMEI to homage. Most of their homages are Casios. The watch is 43.5 millimeters at the bezel, 50 millimeters lug to lug, and it has female end links. It's 16.3 millimeters thick, so this watch is fairly chunky. Has a 22 millimeter lug width and weighs 137 grams on the supplied bracelet with 2 links removed. The bezel has a crystal insert. I'd mentioned the bezel action, but there is none. The bezel does not spin, which will definitely wind up in the gripes and groans section. There is no lume on the bezel either, and no lume pip. Also, the bezel is just a bit misaligned. Look at that. You have the stylized SKMEI printed on the sunburst dial. Then it says automatic on the bottom with no depth rating because it's just the basic 30 meters, so why brag about that? It has applied indices and printed Arabics. And then it has skeleton hands with lume tips and a 3 o'clock date with a border. The domed box crystal is made of mineral glass. I kind of like the crystal. It's kind of nice. Has a pretty good distortion effect and it's nice and thick. It seems solid. Doesn't seem cheap even though it's not sapphire. Then it has an unsigned push-pull crown. Decent crown action. When you go to set it, it doesn't jump all over the place like some cheap watches. The case is a chrome-plated alloy, and they don't claim that it's steel in the ad. They claim it's an alloy. Then it has a display case back that shows off the movement. I don't know which movement this is. I assume it's a seagull, but it doesn't say in the AliExpress ad. But since I have a timegrapher now, let's go ahead and put it on the timegrapher. Okay, let's take a look at the time graph. As you can see, it's really bad. I mean, that is some pretty bad specs there. Look at that amplitude. That's not good at all. Huge beat error. And right now it's going anywhere from 36 to 19. And that's in the up position. So let's go ahead and move it to the down position and then look at it. See, look at that. Look how steep that is. That's ridiculous. Okay, so this movement is really bad. I even tried demagnetizing it, and that did not seem to help. The bracelet has hollow end links, and the links are all folded, and the folds are really bad, very noticeable folds. And the adjusters are push pin, but instead of going into little holes, they're kind of wedged in where the folds are, and they're pretty hard to take out and put back in. Also, the center links are completely hollow, so when you do put the push pin in, it's kind of hard to guide it to the other hole on the other side of the link. Adjusting this strap was quite a pain, and I had a hard time with one of the links. The clasp isn't much better. It's just a press clasp, and since it has the side pusher here, it takes up all the room in the clasp, and thus you only have one micro adjust. So yeah, this bracelet is not good. If you do get this watch, plan on putting it on a strap. If you do get a strap though, do not get a NATO strap, because this watch is already 16 millimeters thick, so a NATO is just going to make it even thicker. Here's the watch on my 7.5 inch wrist. I mean, it wears fairly nice for a big chunky... Oh, look at that, the clasp came off. Anyway, as I was saying, it wears fairly nice, even though it's a big chunky watch. And it looks nice at a distance. It's just, oh, that bracelet is just so bad. And the movement is just awful. Nobody expects good lume on a watch at this price point, so I am mainly testing to see if it is god-awful lume. As I speed up the time, you can see that only the hands are loomed, and the second hand is fading fairly quickly, but the minute and hour hands are holding on. This is not good lume, but it is not god-awful lume, and I've seen a lot worse on this channel, and that's kind of surprising considering the price point. What do I like about this watch? Well, I like the sunburst dial. It does look a lot like an Octavia. And I like this dome box crystal. I think the crystal's fairly nice. And the lume, believe it or not, is not god-awful. It's not great lume, but it's not god-awful lume either. What are my gripes and groans? Well, at 16 millimeters, it's just a little bit too thick. And the bezel does not rotate and is misaligned. And the movement is just really bad. And it's all over the place when I put it on the timegrapher. And I do not like this folded link bracelet. It's really rattly, and you can see the folds easily, and it just doesn't give you a good feeling. And it only has 2 holes to micro adjust. Do I recommend this watch? No, the gripes and groans are just too long. If you're looking for a watch that looks like an Octavia, there isn't a lot of choices, but if you do get this, be sure to order a strap because the bracelet is quite awful. Don't put it on a NATO because it's already thick enough. Well, thank you for watching the review of the SKMEI 9232, and I will be back with another review or unboxing. Bye.